Welcome back. It's match day number 3 in the afternoon at Nyakasura Cricket Ground. And the main ground here at Nyakasura Ground 1, where GOODHEART Secondary School is taking on GULU High School. GOODHEART won the toss and opted to bat. And the action here is taking on. The first ball is yet to be bowled at the moment. P.T. Daniel starts off with a beautiful ball there. The right-hander. P.T. Daniel is the bowler, topping the bowling charts. Bowling at number 2. Is ranked number 2 in the bowling charts, having 11 wickets. Topping the bowling charts is Kimbugwe Wilson, having a total of 12 wickets here. And now the action has already started officially, and 1 run already on the scoreboard. Beautiful boys there, really beautiful pace. Beaten for pace there is the batter, who tries to just throw the arms onto the ball but doesn't really get anywhere close to the ball. It's a good ball to start with. The batters is Sedo James and Moseni Xavier. Sedo on strike. Oh, beautiful delivery once again. Back-to-back dot balls to start with. No run has really come off the bat at the moment. Bowling with 2 boundary raiders. That is the strike third man and the mid, or rather the long off at the boundary. Whacked on the on, and that will roll to the boundary. The chase is on. And some good work done by the fielder there. Very good pattern, rather sportsmanship there by the fielder to indicate the boundary to the umpire. First boundary comes up for GOODHEART Secondary School at the moment. Such a good shot that was from the young man Moseni Xavier, who gets 4 runs. What a perfect way to get off the mark, off the glance shot. No protection on the onside. Down the fin leg. Fielder is in the 30 short fin leg. Throws over the bucket holes onto the ball, but doesn't really get any bat on the ball. So far 5 runs in the first over, with 1 more ball left. Beautiful shot there. A simple cut, a simple touch on the ball. Doesn't really have to do much with the pace on ball. Just letting it go to the point fielder there. Perfect single to finish the over. And the score is 6 runs for the loss of 9. action here in Fopoto. So many games to come. Chance of a run out there, but the throw isn't on. The throw isn't perfect. The batter really makes his ground earlier. 2 dot ball so far. There should be an injury. A very hard throw to the bowler, who does a very good job there to stop the ball from going to the boundary. But that throw was really uncalled for, really unnecessary. However much you need wickets, you have to consider the fact that there is a possibility of an injury if the throw isn't really effective. He's just running on with a first aid kit. I think he will be okay if you apply some spray or deep hit there. He will really be fine, especially with those digits. They tend to be so fragile, but you have to attend to them very early with immediate effect, especially when they get hurt. You have to give them a gentle massage and get them back in their normal position. Such injuries have to happen in cricket. Get used to those injuries. Six runs so far in 1.2 overs for the loss of no wickets. Opio Joshua is the bowler coming in from the caves end. When I talk of the cave, I mean Mabiraganyuna Muiru, one of the most visited tourist sites in Fort Portal, especially for study purposes, the stalagmites and the stalactites. If you're really good with geography, you get acquainted to such places. And that will be a way trying to go way away from the stumps. The umpire does no mistake, calls it away. First extra of, rather second extra of the inning so far. We saw the first one being a bye of the wicket keeper. That's much better delivery from the young man there, Opio, who comes back to the right track and bowls a very beautiful lane there. That's another weight. I think he's seeing clearly that Xavier is not really getting on top of the bounce and doesn't really transfer his weight onto the shot. So he's trying to get him nick that ball. He's trying to bowl the ball wider from him. Beautiful touch there. Really beautiful from Musene Xavier. White really body behind the ball, keeping his bat really straight, pointing down, dropping it for another dot ball. That's another dot ball. 7 dot ball so far. The 2 balls, rather than the 2 1.5 overs that have been bowled. 7 dot balls. Just block there. The young Xavier. Opening up the face of the bat, they are trying to get. Oh, how is Izoko, and the finger goes up. poor communication. At first, you could see the wicketkeeper fumbling, not getting the ball on the first attempt, missing the stamping, and again does the stamping very at the last moment, and the first wicket falls for GOODHEART Secondary School. 8 runs for the loss of 1 after 2 wickets, rather after 2 overs. You can clearly see that Xavier was intending to take the strike, but he couldn't really communicate with his partner and make sure that they ran swiftly in between the wickets. 1 wicket done. With that wicket falling, 2 overs down. 8 runs for GOODHEART Secondary School. P.T. Daniel will be the bowler coming from the primary school end. We saw his first over only going for 5 runs. Had a very beautiful start, but is yet to pick a wicket to make it 12 to top the bowling charts. He's already 1 wicket shy, rather 1 wicket behind the top bowler from St. George Secondary School, Mukono. Starts off with a beautiful dot ball there. He's one of the bowler who has some decent pace on. And again, one of the gifted bowlers, left-arm seamer. We don't really see so many in the tournament. But seeing him bowl with that pace and the length has been paramount for him. What a beautiful bouncer that is. Perfectly directed to the short lad there. Most of the batters don't necessarily have to be tall. We see most of the batters are short batters. But that was a perfect bouncer there. Decent pace, really decent. Beating the batter there for pace. Doesn't really have time to adjust himself and set himself for that shot that he's trying. You can see clearly what Museni Xavier is trying to do at the moment, opening up the face of the bat rather late, trying to access that square of point area and beating. If he manages to get bat on ball, the ball will really race to the boundary. That is his plan at the moment. That is it, opening up the face of the ball, rather the face of the bat. But it's another dot ball. 4 dot balls on trot. Museni Xavier already having 5 or 15 balls, has faced most of the balls. Solid block, really looking sharp with that block, looking beautiful with the block. But in my opinion, I would love to see him rotate the strike more oftenly other than consume most of the balls. But with that dot ball brings up the end of over number 3 and the score is 8-4, only 1 wicket. Opio Joshua is the bowler that will continue bowling in tandem with Peter Daniel bowling from the cave end. He had a pretty beautiful start earlier. 1 over, going for only 2 runs. And in that over, there was a run out. A wicket that has only fallen for GOODHEART. We've seen so many bowlers, rather so many teams in this tournament opting to have one bowler that intimidates from the other side and the other one coming up and bowling straight stump to stump, trying to pick up those wickets. Up in the air, driven on the up. Oh, doesn't really carry to the fielder, but there was a chance on the offer. The wicket keeper would have done better. That chance was directed under the wicket keeper, but with the helmet on, you don't really get that time to judge exactly where the ball went. You can see that Joshua is really trying to bowl in some bouncers. Much better length there, much better from Joshua. Now this time round drags his length backwards, spare portion, and attempting challenging that outside edge from Xavier. Another dot ball. 2, 3 dot balls in a row. In fact, 4 dot balls in a row for Joshua. Another silk touch there, drop and run, and he will take that 1 run. Brilliant running between the two batters, Museni Xavier and Musubi Alan. That means Xavier will take the other strike, which he has done so often in this game. He has faced most of the games. To be specific, he has faced 20 balls. Of the 24 balls that have been faced, rather bowled, he has faced 20 balls. That means he has faced almost 90% of the balls. That dot ball brings up the end of over number 4 and 10 for the loss of 1. Joshua from the Premier League end to bowl his 3rd over. He hasn't picked a wicket yet. Yeah, pace and bounce there. Pace and bounce. Well directed. The length is on. The lane is on. Everything is good from the young man there. Peter Desani. Rather Peter Daniel. Is really bowling at some decent pace. Beautiful, beautiful stroke there from Seven Xavier. Semi Xavier, to tell you, he has really done a good job for his team at the moment, despite not scoring runs, but he has held on to his wicket. We see most of the teams have crumbled. Much bolder shot there, really bolder from that young man, Museni Xavier. This time round, he really makes a statement by driving the ball that's almost intended to hit his ball, rather wickets. but he backs himself up. Hits it with power. Really beautiful to watch here. Beautiful to watch from PT. He doesn't give anything loose to Xavier at the moment. He realizes very early that Xavier is really waiting for the balls that are coming to his stumps or directed to his stumps. So what he does, he drags his length backward and does what he does best there. Well played, very well played from Xavier. Poor throw to the wicket keeper, but I love that shot from that young man. Really playing a short ball on the back foot off the ground, directing it, guiding it with soft hand. Square of point towards the Gary area. That was a very beautiful shot. Much better drive there. I think every time that PT has tried to attack the wickets, the batters have really been superb with balls bowled full. But with that, dot ball brings up the end of over number 5, and the score is 11 for the loss of 1 wicket. Looking at the table standings, Group A, Shri Jahanand School Uganda is leading with 3 matches, and all the games that they have played, they've won with 12 points. St. John's High School Kauga is number 2, also winning all the games that they played, also having 12 points. GULU, the one that we are watching right now, also has 12 points, winning 3 of the games that they have played. They are yet to pick another victory. If they go on to win this game, they will see themselves leading the table most probably. Jinja SS also has a game in hand against St. John's High School Kauga, which is number 4 in the group. A chance of a catch, and a simple catch is taken. Second fall, second wicket goes. Trying really to hit the ball hard, but nowhere near the ball. Just throws his hands towards the ball, and the catch is completed there at covers. Second wicket falls for GOODHEART Secondary School, and the score is only 11 for the loss of 2 wickets. Still looking at the charts here, at rather the points. Jinja Senior Secondary School has played 3 and won 2. Masaka SS playing 3, winning 2. Entire School has played 2 and won 1. They only won that match against Jinja Senior Secondary School. GOODHEART Secondary School is number 7 and has played 4 matches and only won 1 game. Kira College Butiki is yet to win any game. So is Renzori High School, playing 4 matches. And when we go to Group B, Soga College Muir playing 3, winning all the 3. Nyakasura, rather Masindi Senior Secondary School playing 3 and winning 2. Nyakasura School in position number 3, playing 3, winning 2, having 8 points. St. Joseph College, Julaibi, Aga Khan, and St. James Secondary School have all won only 1 game. King's College Budo has played 3 and is yet to win any game. Coming back to the action, GOODHEART Secondary School has already lost 2 wickets with only 11 runs, 5.2 overs, with only 4 balls left in the power play. The new batter, Kaigwa Ashraf, his own streak. Pure Joshua is one of the bowlers that have really been superb in this inning so far, picking one and being involved in the other. Good ball there. Right directed almost on the borderline. And the new batter, Kaigwa Ashraf, couldn't go off the mark straight away. Another dot ball. Down the leg, tries to whack it on the onside, doesn't get any bat on it. The umpire says that is a wade. We haven't really seen so many wades from this young man, Opio Joshua. Oh, that must. Oh, chance of a run out. A little something like a kafafa between the two batters. But they all decide to go back to their crease. You see the bounce of that ball doesn't really bounce as the previous balls did. Kind of held on the ground, doesn't really raise up as anticipated. Shot, brilliant shot, down the ground for four. Really beautiful to watch. Pitched up delivery this time round. Does no mistake. Just extends his arms and transfers his weight into the shot. Hitting it down the ground for four. Beautiful shot there. Really beautiful. "16 runs so far, with only one ball left in the over. Oh, this time round tries to go across the line. Almost clean ball there, but good enough. Some little bit of distance the ball is from the wicket, and he survives that. Good dot ball to finish the over. 6 overs down, and the score is 16 for the loss of 2 wickets. Not the best power play that you would say, but it's a better power play for GULU High School at the moment, restricting GOODHEART Secondary School to only 16, having managed to pick 2 wickets and dried up the running column, courtesy of the 2 bowlers, the seam bowlers, Opio Joshua, who has picked 1 wicket, and Pity Daniel is yet to pick any wicket in this afternoon game. Speaking of the wickets that he has picked Pity, having played 5 matches and picking 11 wickets. The captain has entrusted his bowler with another one over to bowl. Beautiful pass there, really beautiful. There has been change in bowling side there. A right arm pacer replaces the left arm seamer. Omara Marvin Xavier is the bowler that comes from the primary school end. Oh, chance of a catch, but well directed to the third man region, and we only get one thing that I've loved between these young batters for GOODHEART Secondary School is the way how they have managed to play the ball late. We've seen such beautiful shots, especially on balls that have been bounced back of the lane. Back of the length, they are trying to use the wrist and getting it down the ground for singles. It has been really good to watch. This time round, much fuller, trying to access that onside but couldn't really get himself enough room that he would have desired. Results into a dot ball. If you look at the dot ball percentage here, 32 dot balls have been conceded. Three to be specific with that one. You can really see that many dot balls have been scammed to the batters for GOODHEART Secondary School at the moment. They really have to do something to manage that dot ball percentage. They don't have to consume so many balls with less runs. There tries to go for a big shot, says with it given on offer, throws everything at the ball but doesn't really get any bat on it. Mix up of the length here from the bowler. Looking at the scorecard here, if you look at all the batters that have come in for GOODHEART, no one has yet gone past the single digit there. But with that dot ball brings up the end of over number 7, and the score is 17 for the loss of 2 wickets. If you look at the action that are taking place on the other grounds, Masindi SS versus St. James Secondary School, Shiri Sahajana School Uganda versus Kira College Butiki. Shiri already has lost 2 wickets and for only 35 runs in 8 overs. And Shiri is one of the schools that are really topping Group 1, is in fact the top ranked team in Group 1, having 12 points in the 3 games that they played. They've won all the games that they have played. Coming back to the action here, change in bowling attack. New bowler coming from the cave end. He isn't really quick as the previous bowlers were. That is Odokonyero Emmanuel, who has so far bowled 3 balls and all of them have been dot balls. You can see he isn't quick, but at least the lanes that he's bowling to are much of a worry to the opponents. There, beautiful length there, dragging the batters into false shots, asking them to step into the ball. You can see the shot covers in place. If you really get any half shot there, the catch will be completed. Powerful hit, but nowhere. Just will go over the short point, rather short cover fielder there. Powerfully struck there. The fielder is down. We'll go for the long barrier. Chance of a run out. 2 they will go. And two, they will take some floppy fielding from the fielder they are long on, trying to go for the long barrier, but doesn't really get it at the first point. With that misfield, the batters managed to go for the second run. Only one ball left for Emmanuel. Short delivery there, tries to put in a pull shot, but anywhere position for that shot. If you have to play a pull shot, you really have to be in a well-positioned area, rather in a good position, and set yourself up, which Keigo Ashraf didn't really do well. But with that dot ball brings up the end of over number 8, and the score is 21 for the loss of 2 wickets. In the morning here, Busoga Courage Muiri posted a record total of 253 and won by 198 runs. And now action is still on for Busoga College Muiri on the other grounds in Kanonapolo Ground B, where they managed to score. At the moment, the score is 38 for the loss of 1 after 6 overs. That's a wide given by the umpire, and it would sail all the way to the boundary. Poor fielding in the deep. The wicket keeper doesn't really get to stop that ball. The third man tries to put in a dive to stop the ball from going to the boundary, but doesn't really do so. 5 wides given. Going back to the Busoga College Muiri game, the score is 38 for the loss of 1 wicket. Mudola Ediga is the batter that is still rattling the Aga Khan bowlers. Mukisa Eric has already lost his wicket with 3 runs from 7 balls. Gatola Abubakar has just walked in, only 7 runs from 8. Gerard Olipa hasn't come into the action so far. I think he has been pulled a position back in the batting lineup there, because we saw him coming in at number 3. Back to the action here. GOODHEART Secondary School taking on GULU High School, where GOODHEART won the toss and opted to bat. And now GOODHEART has already lost 2 wickets, and the score is 27 for the loss of 2 wickets after 8.1. Short ball delivery, they are really well directed, almost aiming at the head, but beautiful put off by Alan. Omara Marvin Xavier is the bowler that is doing a tremendous job for his team. We saw him starting off with 5 wides. Another wide there. It's some bad on it, sorry. Chance of a run out, poor throw, and there is no backup. They will get another run. Very good running between batters, Musubi Alan and Keigo Ashraf, who have faced almost a similar number of balls, 11 to be specific. Keigo having 8 from 11. Musubi Alan 4 from 11. But at the moment, GOODHEART Secondary School are looking to collect themselves back after having lost 2 wickets. Another wide, that is the wicket keeper trying to stop the ball, but doesn't really cover himself or move his feet so well to get himself in a good position. to stop the ball. Two aids, so many extras from Xavier at the moment, and they don't need to leak such runs if they are to get to a decent score that will restrict the opponents to the lowest runs that they would wish to. So extras are so detrimental to their side at the moment. Much better, really much better there. If you can only keep hitting that lane, you see your teammates really appreciating, and you can do a very good job for your team. Down the leg again, weight given by the umpire, and the run still taken by the two batters, Kego Ashraf and Musubi Alan. Consistency is what lacks from Xavier. You see one ball well bowled, then the other one not so quite well bowled down the leg for weights. If you count the weights that he has bowled, chance of a catch up in the air, and it's taken. Really beautiful take there from the point fielder. Jersey number 2. The third wicket falls for GOODHEART Secondary School. Every chance that has been given, at least they have tried to convert it. Those are the fielders for GULU High School at the moment, not allowing GOODHEART Secondary School get anywhere comfortable at the wicket. Much desired wicket there for GULU High School after having a very bad over. Of 10 extras, cutters of weights from Xavier, and now picking up a wicket that will be a reprieve for himself. If only he can keep on doing such good work for himself. Mude Hilary is a new batter that has just walked on to bat. See, not tucking in, looking so shabby at the moment, I might say. As I was growing up, they could tell you, just take cricket as a gentleman's game, and tucking in was one of the things that you couldn't miss growing up. So it really concerns me seeing such young batters not really taking the game so serious, taking in the game to be a gentleman's game. I think it's courtesy of the international cricket that's going on. We see batters like Alex House, Phil Salt. I don't normally really do tackling, but it's not a good routine that you want to acclimatize yourself with. Mude Hilary on strike. New bowler coming from the primary end. Starts off with a full delivery there. Tries to lash forward for a drive. And with that dot ball brings up the end of over number 8. Rather over number 9. And the score is 34 for the loss of 3 wickets. Coming from the end. fielder deep mid wickets and long on to pick up that ball and stopping it from going to the boundary. There is a clear big gap between the two boundary raiders. Another powerfully struck shot there. The fielder at mid wickets puts in a dive and stops the ball from going to the boundary. Such good shot there from Hillary, who gets off the mark, trying to access that on side position. Already has 3 runs from the 3 balls that he has faced. Dokonyero continues with the ball. Oh, beautiful ball there. Some width on offer. 4th, 5th stamp there. The wicket keeper easy on the pickings. Musubiala non-strike, the left-handed batter. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, really beautiful there. Sorry, it's Mudeke Hillary on strike, the left-handed batter, not Musubi Alan. Sorry for the mistake and for the misguiding. Oh, tries to open up the face of the bat and trying to access that off-field side. Seeing that there is a gap, no boundary raider, no protection at the boundary. He just wants to get that ball past the point and gully fielder there. But the execution hasn't really been good. But you can see the intent. Lashing forward and dropping it for chance of a run out. Chance of a run out. Oh. That was really close. Poor communication between the two, Alan and Hillary. After extending for a beautiful shot there. Now tries to take a run after the miss field at the mid wicket there. But with that dot ball brings up the end of over number 10. And the score is 36 for the loss of 3 wickets. Already halfway through this inning, 10 overs down. And only 36 runs scored. How many can they add to put up a very competitive total for GULU SS? Rather GULU High School, which we have seen have won 3 games of the 5 out of 5 that they have played. That shows you that they have some good runs, rather run scorers. Well left, good shot. Growing up, one of my captains used to tell me that well left is the best shot in cricket. I couldn't really understand what he tried to insinuate in me that, but as I grew into playing cricket, I came to understand that when you leave the ball, you get more time to stay on the wicket, and you get more time to get your eye into the game. So that's what he clearly meant, but not really meaning that it's the best shot, because it won't score you runs. Two drop balls to start with in the 11th over. Throws everything after the ball but doesn't connect. 8 lanes there from the bowler. Omar Marvin Xavier, who was struggling with his line in his previous over, where he bowled 10 extras off the way deliveries, but now he has bowled 3 on trot without no wides. Much better there, much better. You can see clearly that he's trying to lure the batsman into playing false drives. Clearly, the lane isn't there for driving. It's much, much better delivery from Marvin. Clean ball, middle stump goes flying up in the air and gets his meat, gets his catch. Very well pulled there from Marvin, picking up his first wicket so far. The batter there really looking guilty of trying to go across the lane and missing everything. He isn't happy with himself. He really knows that he did a wrong decision. And Musubi Alan departs for 6 from only 22 balls that he has played. Playing 22 and scoring 6, that you wouldn't really be happy with yourself. Especially getting out on such false shot. With the 4th wicket falling, the score is 36 for the loss of 4 wickets. 10.5 overs down, only 1 left to finish the over. Another batter comes on the crease, and not other than Antali Alan. Alan taking his guard, marking his leg stump guard. Umpire there trying to give his guard. Omar Marvin Xavier, let's continue and finish the over. 1 ball left. We have the deep mid wickets patrolling the field. Long off at the boundary, and the 3rd man. Those are the boundary raiders. Oh, tries in with a false shot there, trying to block from the front foot. And it's another dot ball there. Sorry, 1 ball left, and the umpire handshake there, back to the bowler, coming back here in the action. The 5th wicket falls, and another one bites the dust. 5 wickets have fallen for GOODHEART Secondary School. Very good bowling from the bowler there. Slow delivery, not really as fast as he was bowling previously. And the batter there guilty of throwing his arms towards the ball instead of playing the ball late and letting the ball come to him. And he succumbs to the trap of Odokonyere Emmanuel, who picks up his first wicket so far. Mude Hillary only departs for a duck, having faced 3 balls, not scoring any run. New batter should be working on. Now something has to be asked at the question, rather at the moment. How many can they score? The projected score is at 64 runs at the moment, when they are scoring a 3.2 run rate. Udokonyero will continue from the cave end. New batter on the crease. Mugaya Akram taking his guard already. Forward press initially. It tries a beautiful drive and will get off the mark straight away to start with. There haven't really been a couple of partnerships here. The most partnership was 23 between Musubi and Igua. Only 23 runs, and all the other partnerships haven't really lasted. 8-3, 2-0, 1. So one thing that really has to be done at the moment is try build a partnership. Try to control that wicket column at the moment. It's not a matter of scoring runs. At least try rotate the streak. Keep the scoreboard ticking. Powerful hit. That will sail over the mid-wicket fielder. No really good timing. But the result will get him only 1 run. Good rotation of the strike. It's what you just need to do at the moment. Keep the scoreboard ticking. Rotate the strike. Get ones, get twos. And it will take you to some good score or good total of around 80. Beautiful drive there. Poor fielding at covers. Ball going just underneath his ball, rather underneath his legs, between his legs. Should have done better. Why do you keep space between your legs? That's one of the techniques that you really have to work on. That should be a good ball. Yeah, the umpire says it's a good ball. Initially moving out of his initial position. But with that, dot ball brings up the end of over number 12. And the score is 39 for the loss of 5 wickets. Masin Secondary School is versing St. James Secondary School 100. And the score is just 21 for the loss of 1. Masindi Secondary School batting after 4 overs. Shuri playing against Kira College Butiki, and the score is 73 for the loss of 3 wickets. All those games are happening here in Fopoto, the tourism city. A boys schools week tournament that is held annually in different regions of the nation. Last time it was held in Jinja, eastern part of Uganda. This time round is the first time it has been hosted in Fopoto in the western region. Omar Xavier is continuing from a primary school end. Already bowling a dot ball to start with, rather 1 bite to start with. The 2 batters, Mugaya Akram and Antali Ali, have only 3 runs between themselves. Tries to go for a big shot there. You could see the intent, the way how he was shaking his bat. You can clearly that he was trying to go for a big shot, but doesn't connect anywhere. Wild swing there, really wild. And most times, as I was playing, my coach usually told me it's more of timing than hitting. Beautiful time there, very beautifully timed. The fielder is covering it up. Only two they will get. That is two. The same round, right? He doesn't really get hard onto the ball. Only aims at aiming, rather timing it, and gets better results than he did previously. 2 runs to his total. If you have to look at the batting records here, batting statistics in the boys, USA Skyview Boys Cricket Week tournament, Gerard Olipa has the most runs from Soga College Muiri, 150. Nero Jonathan is number 2 on the charts there, having 144 from the 4 games that he has played. Patel Devanshi from Shiri Sahajanad School, Uganda, has 118 from the 4 games. Isimiro Ivan from Masindi having 102. You can see that some runs at least have been scored in the tournament. The top 5 batters, rather top 4 batters, have 100 plus runs in the only 4 innings that they've played so far. Powerfully hit there. Oh, poor catch. Poor catching technique there from the bowler. Couldn't finish the ball. The good water had started. The bowler really rather the batter really trying to hit the ball hard, go over the batter's head, rather bowler's head, but ends up only popping it up in the air. The bowler couldn't hold on it, and that is Omar. This time round, hits it on the ground. Boundary raider comes in to his aid, to the ball's aid, to only stop it for only 1 run. And after over number 13, overs down, and the score is 44 for the loss of 5 wickets. Still talking of the statistics here, 5,013 runs have been scored in this tournament. UCA Skyview Boys Schools Week tournament. 5,013 runs on the only third day of the tournament. 100 has been scored so far from Olipa Gerald. 2 hat tricks have been taken. A total of 352 players. We look at the fours, 404 fours, and the catches have been 155 catches. Maidens, 53 maidens. So much action taking on at the moment. So much action. The bowlers that are leading the catch, rather the charts. Kimbuga Wilson from St. John's Secondary School, Mukono, having 12 wickets. P.T. Daniel from GULU High School having 11. Adrian Mukisa also has 11 wickets there. But back to the game here at Nyakasura ground, main ground here, GULU High School taking on GOODHEART Secondary School. The score is 45 for the loss of 5 wickets. We have to look at the dot balls that have been bowled in this game so far. So many dot balls. Clean bowled. Tries to go back on the back foot and batting across the line, and the middle stump has been scattered on the ground. Birds flying off. No, not a good shot on offer there. Odonkonyero. It's the reason why GOODHEART Secondary School is having only 45 runs from 13.5 overs. But with those wickets falling, that introduces in a new batsman. Kilegea Ibra is the new batter that has come in. One ball left for Odonkonyero Emmanuel. Can he pick up another wicket to make it 3 in his 4 allotted overs? Straight away starts up, bowling straight to the stumps. Well stopped there from Ibra. With that dot ball brings up the end of over number 14, and the score is 45 for the loss of 6 wickets. So many action taking place here at Nyakasura Cricket Ground. Another game between Jinja Senior Secondary School alongside Mukono St. John's High School, Kauga. Already the scores are 62 for the loss of 3. Kauga batting. They've lost their most trusted batters, most especially Willie Robert, who only scored 3 runs. But the batter who has put on a fight is Nyenya Jonathan, having 24 from 43. And already 12.3 overs down. New bowler, the spinner, comes into the attack from the primary school end. Wicket keep up the stumps. Starts off with a beautiful delivery there. Good length delivery from the spinner. The fielders at the boundary are deep mid wickets. Long off, long on. Only 3 fielders patrolling the boundary there. Starts off with a powerful shot there. Pulled to the sweeper area. Only one they will take from that beautiful and powerful shot. Opio Tone is the bowler who is at the moment doing a very beautiful job for his team, having only bowled 2 balls and conceded only 1 run. And Tali Ali on straight. Hit on off the ground. Slow sweep, no protection. Extra throw there, extra runs. But the umpire, rather the two batters aren't really interested in taking the run. Poor communication, I might say, at the moment. They should have taken up or seized the opportunity of the overthrow there. Wow, there is the call, and out is given. Clear LBW. They are trying to go for a slog sweep. Leaning on his knee. Trying to access that on. Trying to access that onside. But doesn't really get any bat on it. And the umpire does make his decision. Out is given. Another one falls. Another one basically does. 7 wickets down. The score is 46 for the loss of 7. See, the projected score for GOODHEART Secondary School is at 62 runs. The current run rate is 3.1 with only 3 wickets left. They assure you all the 3 wickets at the moment are tail enders. Now we've reached the tail end of the lineup. So even the the projected score might even lower a bit to 50 or 50 something, given that the spinner is in operation at the moment, and we've seen so many players failing to really play well against the spinners in this tournament so far. Plated delivery. Oof. The wicketkeeper would have done better there. The batter trying to advance down the track and missing track of the ball. The wicketkeeper doesn't really hold on to the ball for stamping. That would have been another wicket. Changing bowling there. Another spin, I guess. Not really a spinner, but the PS man will be coming from the staff quarter end, having 3 boundary raiders, rather 4 boundary raiders. Long off, long on, deep deep mid wickets. And third man starts off with the wild swing there, trying to really access that onside. The intent is clear, execution is wrong. Trying to go on the back foot and playing the ball on the offside for that square punch, square drive, I would say. But doesn't get any bat on it. 2 dot balls in a row. The same round gets a bat on it, but it's another dot ball. Very beautiful piece of bowling from Opio Joshua, who is bowling from the cave end, the staff quarter end. 3-dot ball so far in a row. Oh, they will scamper through for a single. Joram gets off the mark. Joram Bukianagandi gets off the mark with a single. Oh, much better delivery there. Better lane. Trying to pull the batter on the front foot, knowing that the wicket keeper is up to the stumps, bowling some decent pace. With that, dot ball brings up the end of over number 16, and the score is 47 for the loss of 7 wickets. Opio Tony is the spinner that will continue from the primary school end. So his first over being very lucrative, picking up 1 wicket, having 5 dot balls and only 1 run considered off. That's 1 over that bowled. He will have to continue. A wild swing, no protect up in the air. The chase is on, but couldn't get into the bucket hands of the fielder. They are running from the mid wicket area. It was up in the air for a moment, but could not really land into his hands. Beautiful intent there from until Ali. Ali so far has faced 16 balls and only 9 runs he has scored. Another wild swing there, big swing, and we'll get another single. He's trying to get some runs, taking on the spinner here. This is much expected of them. Try to score more runs at the moment. Wild swing. Oh, he says the call. Umpire says pitching down. And I'll say the leg stump there. That was a false shot there from Jerome, who tries to go to the onside. Ooh, second time the wicketkeeper has failed to hold on to the ball. Really seeing the batsman advancing down the track and missing to hold that ball. It would have been another good piece of stamping had he held on to the ball. But the batter there seems not to be okay, given the intense games that you're playing. It takes one to be really fit to play 8 games in the group stages, almost playing a game a day. It calls for utmost fitness levels. But the moment is up on his knees, rather up on his feet. Some spray on his forearm there. I don't know what really happened. Could he have hurt his shoulder? You can see him stretching. He looks to be in some little bit of pain, but hopefully you'll continue to bat. With only 20 balls left to the end of this first inning, can he hold on to play out all the 20 balls that are left? Layman shot there. Poor shot, trying to calm down the track again, seeing that the bowler really throws the ball outside off, and he only does protect himself and himself from being stumped. Gets a bat onto the ball. That would be a bye from the umpire signaled. And with that bye brings up the end of over number 17, and the score is 50, rather 51, for the loss of 7 wickets. 3 wickets in hand for GOODHEART Secondary School. GULU High School only left with 3 overs to finish the innings or to pick up 3 wickets. The 2 set batters are Antali Ali, who is having 10 runs from 18 balls. Bukiana Gandhi Jerome, who is yet to get off the mark, still has 0 runs from 8 balls that he has faced. And 2 bowlers are left. I don't know how the captain, will play out this. He has to bring in Opio Tony, who has only bowled 2 overs. It's only Tony who is left with 2 overs, and P.T. Daniel also left with 1 over. You'll have to introduce in 1 more extra bowler to compensate for that 1 over that will be left from PT's allotted 4 over, rather Opio's allotted over. New bowler comes into play and starts off with a weight. They will have to take the run. Yes, they do. 2 weights start with. Can see clearly he didn't count his overs very well, given that Tony has just bowled from the other side of the primary end and has 2 overs left, and the other person who has the other over is P.T. Daniel, only left with 1 over, so he had to bring in another bowler, the 6th bowler, compensate for that one. 3 wide so far. He hasn't bowled a ball yet. Extras are working in favor of GOODHEART Secondary School, putting the score to 53, rather 54, for the loss of 7 wickets. Tries to go for a wild swing there, but doesn't really get any bat on it, trying to access this vacant cow corn field there. Another slow shot attempt there from Ali Antara, who is the most set bat of the 2. Flighted delivery there, up the back foot. There is protection in the deep mid wickets. Will stop that for only 1 run. 3 balls already bowled. Tumwebaze Marvin is the part-time bowler that has been asked to bowl. Another flighted delivery, shortish this time round, and it will be a wide given by the umpire. That's the problem of having only 5 bowlers on the team. You don't really get the quality bowling from the opponent, rather the other bowler. That's why you really see weights being given so oftenly. So far, 6 weights at the moment. Flighted delivery up in the air, struck hard. A dot ball. Jerome is yet to get off the mark. Beautiful shot there. Nicely hit. Covers trying to stop that from going to the boundary, and he does stop it, but they scamper through for the single, and with that single brings up the end of over number 18, and the score is 58 for the loss of 7 wickets. Going into the penultimate over of this inning. 2 overs only left. Who is to bowl this over is the question. Is it Pity or is it Tony who is left with 2? But I think the captain opts to go for Opio Tony to finish up from where he started. He has had a decent spell so far, bowling 2 overs and picking only 1 wicket at an economy of 2, only conceding 4 runs in the 2 overs he has bowled. Flighted delivery and clean bowled, picking up the 2nd wicket of his own today in the afternoon here. And Jerome guilty there for playing across the lane. Really flighted up delivery, really flighted up. Tries to go across the lane, giving it a wild swing and ends up being clean bowled. You can see the celebration there, muted. Wild celebrations, I might say. He's happy of picking up the 2nd wicket. With 8 wickets down, the score is 58 after 18.1 overs. 2 wickets left in this innings for GOODHEART Secondary School. And another right-handed batter comes to the crease. Watuke Alan James is the new batter, taking his guard. 5 balls left for Opio Tony, who has so far picked 2 wickets. How good can he finish up his spell 4 overs? But he won't be too lucky to bowl all the 4 overs because it's only 1.4 overs left. That means this will be his last over. But how good can he finish? 4 balls to go. A wild swing there. They go for a run. And comfortably they will get a bye signal by the umpire. That was a really big swing. Really, really big swing from the big lad. The most silent batter, they are still cruising in at 11 from 21 is Antali Ali. Down, clean ball, middle stump. What a celebration. We've seen so many wickets falling for Tony Opio here, who has picked 3 wickets. This time round, Ali trying to raise up his hand to take on the spinner. But this time round, he's not too lucky. It brings up wicket number 9. And Antali Ali folds for only 11 from 22 balls. What a spell he has had. A quiet spell, trying to make sure that he plays out all the overs, but that couldn't be allowed by Tony Opio. .4 overs down. only 8 balls left with 1 wicket in hand for GOODHEART Secondary School. The last man standing comes onto the crease. Two more balls left for Tony. How good can he finish? Can he pick up the 4th wicket? Or easy driven on the up, but there is no fielder there to stop the ball. The new batter Kazungu Isaac tries to make sure that he doesn't give a wicket to the ruthless bowler there, Tony Opio. Wild swing there, tries to go for a big whack, but doesn't really get a bat on it. But with that dot ball, brings up the end of over number 19, and the score is 59 for the loss of 9 wickets. With the last over coming, still another action taking place at Nyakasura Cricket Ground B. St. John's High School Kauga taking on Ginger Secondary School, and the score is 67 for 4 in for St. John's High School Kauga. So much muted scoring here for St. John's High School Kauga. But Pity will continue to bowl the last over. Starts off straight away with an appeal of an LBW, but not given. He only has to pick up 1 more wicket to equal the top bowler of the tournament at the moment. If he picks up a wicket, he will have gotten 12 wickets, but it's just a matter of time. Can he pick up this wicket and get himself to 12 wickets? Wild swing there, a really wild swing from the batter. Only 4 balls left to finish up the first innings here. And the 2 batters, Watuke Alan James and Isaac. Oh, half drive, and he sneaked it. Up goes the finger, and the wicket keeper does a very beautiful job to get hold on that nicked delivery. And that marks the end of the first inning, with Pity picking up the much needed wicket of Watuke, getting himself 12 wickets so far from the 5 matches he has played. But the first inning for GOODHEART Secondary School gets done, and only limited to 59 runs from 19.3 overs. All the wickets have fallen. Beautiful spell from GULU High School to restrict GOODHEART Secondary School to 59. They will be needing 60 runs from 120 balls. To be specific, only 0.1 run per ball, or 3. The current run rate should be 3 if my math serves me right. But that will be the target needed to be chased. We are to look at the scoreboards, rather the charts, this bowling charts and batting charts that will be coming in a short. That's the match summary there. GOODHEART Secondary School playing the 19.3 overs, scoring 59 runs, with 22 extras bowled by GULU High School. Pick of the batters, Ali scoring 11, Ashraf also scoring 8 from 12 balls, and Xavier only 7 from 22, rather from 27. And the pick of the bowlers was Tony Opio, who picked 3 wickets and conceding only 4 runs. Also, Emmanuel was not out of action, picking 2 wickets for only 10 runs. Xavier as well picked 2 wickets, and 18 runs were scored off him, restricting the opponents, Goodheart Secondary School, to only 59 runs. And we shall be back in a short for the second innings, where GULU High School will need 60 runs from 120 balls here at Nyakasura Cricket Ground. We'll be back in a short. So we are back for the second innings between GOODHEART Secondary School and GULU High School, where GULU High School really needs to chase down 60 runs in the 20 allotted overs, which in my opinion wouldn't be so much of a task at the moment, given that GULU High School has won 3 out of 5 games that they have played, and 60 isn't a pass score at the ground. But with me here, I'm in the comms box. I'm not alone. I'm with Kwizera Enoch, a player from Ntare School, who has gotten privilege to play in this tournament. So he'll be telling us what exactly is his feeling in this tournament and how he sees this game, given that he was watching from a side. Welcome, Enoch.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Fortunate. Yeah, I'm privileged that I've been able to comment on this game. My name is Kwizera Enoch, like I've told you. So, based on the score, they said 59 and their guys need 60 to win. Yeah, it's an achievable score, but then they also have to play calmly so that they cannot lose their wickets. They may think about scoring and winning the game in very few overs, yet they have very many. So if they can use their brains, play the right things, if they can play in the overs that they are given, play safely, they'll win the game. They do not have to rush. That's what I think.
Yeah, thank you very much, Enoch. That's the insight from the player who has been privileged to play in this tournament, so he really knows what is needed in such games. Given that it's a low score, we see many teams scrambling to low scores. But with the two batters, that is Auma Marvin and Opio Tony, who picked 3 wickets in bowling, are the openers for GULU High School at the moment. And the bowler, Mute Hillary, has already bowled decently so far. Only 1 run has been conceded off his bowling. Starts off with a beautiful shot through the covers. The chase is on, and they will only settle for 1.
Yeah, like we see, they are not rushing, playing 1-1 no matter where they hit the ball to. So that means they have come in with a positive mind. They know what they are doing.
Yeah, speaking of 1-1s, you have to take, you don't have, if you put an elephant in a fridge, you have to cut it in 2 pieces, and it's what we are seeing here, taking bound, rather, singles. Oh, such a creeper, and the ball, that will be away, as the umpire has indicated there, trying to bowl the balls further from the batsmen, not giving them access to the ball or to let them launch into their shots. He's trying to bowl them wide and create half chances. And if you're to defend a low score of just 60 runs, you don't have to give out extras. You have to be as technical as you can.
Quite ample fielding from the mid-off. Yeah, if they want to defend this score, they should be able to come with agility. They should be able to stop every ball that comes to them. Yeah. Trying to hide the ball in such instances is a very poor move because that's when you'll quote extras. At least give them the ball. Maybe you could get catches. Yeah.
Yeah, very beautiful shot there and beautiful piece of fielding there from the square leg fielder who denies his team, rather who denies GULU High School a couple of runs and saves his team maybe 2 or 3 runs there. But beautiful piece of bowling. I would caution the length that he has bowled to, especially a full toss at the moment. You have to be technical as much as possible. Try ball 8 lanes. You don't have to give freebies to the opponent.
Wide from the bowler. Very risky thing they are doing right there. Yeah. Trying to defend such runs should put all you have, put 100% to it.
I don't think he's trying to return the favor, given that in the first innings we saw 24 extras being bowled by GOODHEART Secondary School, rather by GULU, started off with a couple of weight deliveries there. I would say it's not really good if you're to defend a low score of just 60 runs.
We are coming in for the second over. 6 runs so far. Not a very poor start for Gulu. If they are having 6 per over, it means they could chase these runs in 10 overs only, which is also a very good start. Then we can see that most of these runs are not coming from the bat, so GOODHEART need to up their game since the batsmen can also not play well. They should also up their game and stop giving the whites. There they can defend this with ease.
Yeah, very well said there. At the moment, I think GOODHEART really needs to pick some wickets. You don't really rely on limiting or getting dot balls. What really can get you into the game is doing two things: picking wickets and getting the dot ball percentage up. But at the moment, it doesn't really seem a problem for GULU High School, given that they've gotten 6 runs in the first over, and that's try to get off strike. In so doing, you're prone to error. So get dot balls, create pressure. That's what has to be done for Tony.
Nice slap into the covers from the batsman. Yeah, speaking of the dots, I really think when someone keeps dotting you, you would want to play out of your scope, want to play shots that are not that you can't be able to play, which would cause you make errors. So yeah. But then we see 3 runs out of this over, and we still have about 3 or 2 balls to go. So Gulu High is also not badly off. Yeah.
Really, really not badly off at the moment. But 2 boundary raiders for the right-hander. That is Omar Marvin. 2 boundary raiders, the deep mid wickets and the cow corner have been placed in play. What does he have to do, or what does this field tell you as a player, Mr. Enoch, if you're playing and you set such a field?
Yeah. They set such a field expecting him to play the shots there because they see how he's batting. So the bowler wants to bowl the ball that he will be forced to play that end so that he can be caught. So regarding about how the guys are playing, since they're saying they cannot get their wickets straight, they would so badly wants to catch them out. That's the next strategy. Quite some good thinking from GOODHEART though.
Yeah, good thinking, you might say. And given that the off spinner is the one bowling, so you want to protect that boundary high traffic area, and that is the onside. With that, dot ball brings up the end of over number 2, and the score is 9 for the loss of 0 wickets.
Yeah. So we see GOODHEART trying to reduce down the rate of the overs of the runs, sorry. Yeah. Which is now some quite start that they are going on to. So if we can get the same from this next over, they would now be putting pressure on GULU High School.
At the moment, only 51 runs required from 18 overs. To be specific, 108 balls. Required run rate 2.83. I'll say they are not in a bad position, but Hillary Mude will be the bowler, continuing from the staff quarter end. Starts off with a full toss there, aiming at the Yorker.
Chance for run out, and the keeper fails that one.
Really quick running between the wickets there, scampering for a single.
Yeah.
You can see how good they are trying to take any run that is presented to them, turning the dot balls into singles. It's one of the things that you should employ. You don't really have to rely on boundaries. We haven't, in fact, seen any boundaries so far.
And speaking of boundaries, yeah, they get one by 4-4. Wide 4-4, which is very, very bad thing to do in such a game.
Yeah, speaking of the boundaries, you don't have to give out so many extras. Really, you don't. Given mind you thinking of defending a low score and again giving in extras, that's not so much of an A game from Mude Hillary. He would have done better, not specifically Hillary, but the wicketkeeper himself should have done an extra mile, should have taken an extra mile to stop that ball, maybe move his feet to the left and stop that ball from going for the boundary.
Yes, in such instances, the wicketkeeper has to also work hard because it's not up to the bowler only, because he's the one behind those wickets. Anything that goes behind him most probably is going for four if the fielder is poor. So he also has to up his game. Yeah. So we can see GOODHEART has given off about 8 extras already, and they were only given 24. So we see them narrowing down the extras more than they are narrowing down on the dots, which is quite foul play.
Soft touch there, really soft touch. Good thinking between the two batters there, knowing that the fielders are really held up on the 30-yard mark and really flat-footed. Just does an easy thing of dropping the ball and getting off the mark, rather off the strike, which is so awareful of the batter.
Yeah.
And I'm so impressed of the game process that they're having at the moment.
See Mude Hillary coming to ball. Nice shot from the batsman. Nice shot. You see, they are not running for runs. They are not running for very many runs. So they see they have the game in their hands.
Yeah, they are not trying to risk where they are unnecessary runs. But I will give credit to the batter for executing such a shot. That is Opio Tony, who was very beautiful with the silky touch there, driving on the up. Chance of a catch.
That was a catch. And now some poor misfielding.
Yeah, the overthrow there wasn't really necessary,
Yes.
given that the batters really didn't try to go for runs.
Run.
You don't really need to throw with pressure. You just let it be.
The batsman playing over the bowler, trying to loft the ball over the bowlers. So we see GULU High School on 18 runs out of the 2 overs. Of the 3 overs, sorry. Yeah, we left with 17 overs to go, 103 balls, and the run rate has also gone down. They want 2.45 per over, which is very quite achievable. 42 runs needed in the 17 overs. Yeah, what quite a nice start from Team GULU High School.
The book end, and that is Sado James, who had a very beautiful over, only three from his first over.
Quite some misfielding there, and that goes for a boundary.
Really, really poor fielding there from the field at mid off. He would have done better given that the ball was really close to him and poor alignment, especially. One thing that you have to know is to first cover the lane of the ball, either on a long barrier or short barrier. But first thing first, you have to cover the lane of the ball, which he really didn't. But credit has to go to the batter there, really maximizing on the short ball there and extending his arms into the shot to get that boundary, much needed boundary, first boundary of the inning of the bat.
And the bowler keeps bringing in short balls. Yeah, you would say he became lucky he was not put back where that had gone to in the previous ball. Then concerning how they are fielding, that's quite some misfielding. You have to get in front of the ball, your whole body in front of the ball to field that. If you're fielding in such a position and you know there's no one behind you, you have to put body and soul and be able to stop those balls because boundaries are going to cause the runs to move at a very high rate.
You have to look at the field placements there. Two boundary raiders, mid off, rather long off, and deep mid wickets.
Yeah, the bowler had tried to minimize, but then he also gives another extra wide in his over. Though I commend him for his good bowling, at least he has tried. Quite a nice block from the batsman. Nice thinking. I like it.
Textbook block there, you might say. Really coming, transferring his weight into the shot there and lunging forward.
What a misfield from the keeper. Keeper letting down his team, I could say. Because such a simple hand in would not have passed you if you are serious.
In my opinion, it wasn't called for given that the batters weren't even trying to run. So the bowler himself would have kept the ball for himself,
Yes.
not just throw unnecessarily. And again, the bowler, if in such scenarios you have to take up time and not consume so much time, so throwing the ball back to the keeper will consume another time. Chance of a catch there, edge flies off the wicket keeper's glove.
And they make one run.
With that, single brings up the end of over number 4, and the score is 26 for none. After 4 overs, the score is 10 for 1. GOODHEART Secondary School was cruising at only 10 runs from the 4 overs that they are played, but we can see right now GULU High School has 26 and haven't lost any wicket. But with 4 overs down, there will be a change in bowling. The spinner will take up the mantra to bowl over number 5.
Quite nice some nice fielding from the fielder in mid of there. Though he could be injured, let's wait and see what will come out of it.
Yeah, he looks to be in some little bit of pain. He looks to be hurt for sure, given that the ball was hurt with power, struck with power, and came really whizzing hard towards him. And if you look at the technique that he used, didn't really use the best of the techniques. Tried to grab the ball with the crocodile technique, and it must have gone through the arms, stop to the body.
Yeah, that could have hit his upper body, most probably his ribs or his lower abdomen, which is very dangerous, very painful.
And such ball, the leather ball, really hurts, especially when it hits. Oh, that couldn't be the body. That must have hit the groin. Whenever you see such a stretching, you know exactly where it hit.
Yeah, that means this ball could have hit some part and bounced off to hit his groin. Yeah, but then basing on how he made his boundary, he put his whole body to the ground. He was trying to slip down for that ball. Yeah, that's why it hit his groin.
Yeah, you know how painful it can be. You start sweating, you feel like going for a piss, but that's cricket. You have to get used to that, and you know those injuries happen even if you're on any level of cricket. You have to expect such injuries, not only in cricket but in all sports. Injuries are inevitable, but hopefully he's okay, and we can see he's on his feet. That's a very good sign.
Yeah, let's hope he recovers from the pain he's experiencing right now so that he cannot cost his team in the next overs. We see some switching of field. Yeah,
The current run rate, rather the current partnership being 27 from the two batters, Opio contributing 12 and Omar contributing 5, making up a total of 27 with some extras bowled. You can see they're having a very beautiful and lucrative partnership, these two batters. Hopefully they can go on and see their team pass the finishing line.
yeah, quite some nice blocking there from the batsman. Nice thinking. He did not have to rush for every ball. If it's a good ball, you respect it. Wait for the bad one.
Yeah, looking at the way how he respected the good ball is to play the ball really close to his body and playing it late.
Another bye caused by the keeper.
I don't know what exactly should be running the wicket keeper's mind, because when you keep leaking such runs, they kind of cause some thinking in your mind, asking yourself, what can I do better? And as a captain, you also have to think of those ideas. Come talk to your wicket keeper. You know what, mate? You're costing us in some way or the other. Try to stop every ball. Powerfully struck there. Chance of a couple. Yes, it's a 2-1. They won't get the second run,
Yeah,
but some beautiful fielding there at long off. Try and stop that ball from racing the boundary. The long on field had a very long journey to cover and long ground. Good enough. He stopped his team from leaking so many runs, to be specific, 3.
yeah, the fielders have now gotten off their heels. They are now doing their job right there in the point.
The bowler Musen Xavier has started off with a very good display there, trying to bowl right on the money, straight stump to stump. And with that dot ball brings up the end of over number 5, and the score is 29 for the loss of no wicket.
Quite some nice play from GULU High School. They are not losing a wicket at this point, which was contrary to what was in the first inning. These guys had already lost a wicket by this time, and they also the score that they have is quite a good one. Yeah, I commend them for that.
Yeah, speaking of the wicket that they have lost after 5 overs, they had lost 1 wicket for only 11 runs. See that They are rotating strikes. They are getting bound.
Yeah, at the moment we see he seems to be a nice bowler. He seems to be the nice one, but then after those good overs, he has been pulled for four.
Yeah, beautiful shot there through dissecting through the inner fielders, the extra covers and covers. What a good shot that was, opening up the face of the ball, but not really the perfect delivery you might say from Sebo. He should have done better, especially such a half tracker there from him. Not well expected of him. He would have done better.
Yeah.
Speaking of the extras, the wicketkeeper there has to do so much work to make sure that he doesn't leak so many extras. But that is another concern for GOODHEART Secondary School at the moment. The bye signal by the wicketkeeper, rather by the umpire. 27 runs needed from only, rather from 89 balls. Those are 14.5 balls to be specific. 14.5 overs, sorry.
Another wide from GOODHEART. Yeah, we see them costing themselves, trying to create another batsman from the bowling side.
Very well said. Talking of the batsman, creating a new batsman. The extras that have been bowled, 12 in total. There is no any rather batsman from GULU who has scored more runs than those. To be specific, 12 runs for Opio, Tony, 12, and extras are 12. That shows you that the bowling has been has given a lot of extras, which is uncalled for. I might say they would have been much tighter.
And we saw a chance for a catch from the keeper. That was a reverse shot right into the gloves, although it fell out.
And that was a loose ball from the bowler, and you couldn't blame the wicket keeper for such. He put his body and rather behind the ball. I would give him more credit. Big shot there, really powerful shot, hit from the body all the way to the boundary for one bounce for four.
What has come out of it?
Yeah, really. Speaking of the boundaries, they have only gotten 4 boundaries, rather 3 boundaries so far in this inning. So the boundaries haven't really been much, but they have managed to rotate the strike there and then. But with that boundary brings up the end of over number 6, and the score is 39 for the loss of no wicket.
So as we come into the next over, the score is 39 for the loss of none. 6th over coming, and the bowler coming is Musene X 7th over. Yeah, let's wait and see what will come out of this over.
Yeah. Struck hard. Fielder must put in a hard yard there to cover the ball, and it will roll all the way to the boundary. Very beautiful shot there. It is a very good pick-up shot, beating the fielder who is almost nowhere, either the boundary or in the 30-yard arc. And you can see the disappointment from the bowler, knowing that the fielder should have been at the boundary. That was a misplacement from either the ball or the captain. They should be aware of the field placements there. But big shot and beautiful shot from Tony there.
An edge from the batsman. Yeah. Speaking of the boundary, yeah, there are some things that you have to be knowing. There are some field setting awarenesses that you have to know. In such fields, when some spinner bowling, you have to be at the rope.
Yeah, speaking of where all the dive put in there, but nowhere he can stop that from going to the boundary. Beautiful show there. Now Tony is dealing in boundaries at the moment. So far, we've seen two boundaries in this over. 8 runs to be specific, coming from only 3 balls. I may tell you they are trying to finish the job very early. And the bowler they are really guilty of the lane that he's bowling to. You see the batter shuffling on his crease and getting to access that on field where there is no protection. And they wonder why the captain hasn't deployed fielders out the boundary there.
What a tremendous shot from the batsman, but fielded at the boundary. Yeah, the batsmen are getting very comfortable. Their combination has really worked. They are getting runs for their team, getting very comfortable in the crease, which is an advantage to them. The more you stay there, the more comfortable you get, and the more you continue watching the ball and start hitting the boundaries. Boundaries come as you grow into the game, which is a nice move for Team GULU High.
Tries to go for a slog sweep, really seeing the ball rather behind his eyesight. Now tries to maximize on that loose delivery, but doesn't really get any bat on it. Very good awareness, but loose bowling from Xavier. He doesn't have to bowl another extra.
Yeah, nice batting from the batsman, nice thinking. Do not have to make those risks. Yeah, given that they want to play not out as we would be thinking, as everyone would be expecting. Yeah, so you do not have to give out such stupid wickets.
Yeah, speaking of playing not out, they only need 11 runs from 13.2 overs. I might say if they play out all the ball, rather all the runs without losing a wicket, they get a much desired respect and won't enter up there like because net run rate doesn't really based on playing not out, but it's based on how quick have you chased the runs. But with that single, it brings up the end of over number 7, and the score is 49 for the loss
of none. Yeah, 49 runs so far. We see that's about 10 runs to go for Team GULU High to be able to seal the home, to seal the win, take the win home. Yeah, new bowler coming from the primary school end.
Yeah, there has been a change in the bowling. Xavier from the school end, rather staff quarter end, finishes 2 overs. Now a new bowler, the Seamer, replaces Sabo, who was bowling the left arm, rather the right hand off spinner. Starts off straight away with a weight, not much required at the moment, but you can see that he's trying as much as possible to bowl to the tighter lanes. Good enough this time round. He gets the weight off the weight lane, unlike the other bowlers whose weights were down the leg.
Another wide from the bowler, trying to keep the ball away from the batsman. Yeah, quite nice strategy. But then also would be very dangerous because if you fail to keep that line, you'll be costing the team.
Again, speaking of trying to get the ball away from the batsman, he should have the deep extra cover sweeping that position there. That's a much better delivery there. Now corrects his length and lane. Now bowls it straight, but dragging his length back doesn't really get the batter to go under the ball. And the two batters, Martin rather Marvin Oumo and Opio Tony are cruising in steadily at 19 and 16 respectively.
Yeah, quite some nice fielding from the rope. Batsmen are trying to play one by one by one. Yeah, and they are winning this in the next, let's say, I can predict 2 overs they will have taken their home, they win home.
Yeah, two of us are also sensing something here, but you never know. Cricket is not just a predictable game, it's so unpredictable. But
Yeah,
with only nine runs required, let's see what they can do. Hopefully, the return bowler doesn't give up so many extras. The bowler is Antali Ali. Shot, beautiful shot there. There has to be some work done to cover and stop that ball from going to the boundary. Only two they will get, and easily they do get the 2 runs.
some nice cut shot from the batsman, and they score 2 from that shot. Yeah,
Yeah, but one good thing about that shot is the way how he played off the back foot, proper positioning himself up to play such a beautiful shot, so beautiful off the eye, despite not going for the boundary, but it was a nice looking shot.
it was good on its execution, and he's now playing them. He's using his mind. Yeah, as they say, mind over muscle, mind over muscle. He's now using his mind, getting the ball into the spaces so that they can score those runs easily and be able to finish off with the game.
Yeah, that soft touch there. If you don't get the boundary, you get to play the ball late, especially for the when you're playing pace bowlers. You have to play the ball so late and close to your body, and that's what he really did.
Yeah, that means they're actually watching the balls and the wide plus a run.
Those will be two weights scored by the umpire. You can see way up over the keeper's gloves. But good job done by the boundary raider. They're almost straight a third leg, rather long leg at the boundary, not specifically the third man or fin leg, but this time round going for the long leg.
Bowler goes around the wickets. Let's see what he'll do out of it. Quite some nice shot execution from the batsman.
GOODHEART Secondary School fielders The players hold their heads are down, but very good work done by the two batters from Gul High School, managing set to chase down 60 runs, rather 59 runs for no loss in less than 10 overs. To be specific, in 8.1 overs. They've done a very tremendous job for their team.
Yeah, what some nice batting from the two batsmen. Nice combination. They have played really well. Yeah, they have worked together. They have been able to chase these runs. We should expect more from them in the next games. We should expect them to do the same in the next games, because if they keep doing same thing, you never know. They would be increasing in their runs, which will give them a nice level in the rankings.
Yeah, Gul High School making it 4 out of 5 games that they have played, which puts them atop of their Group A.
Gulu
And
High
with that
School
win,
seals the win. 4 out of 5.
where they managed to pull a total of 259 runs with 29 extras. The pick of the batters was who scored 11 from 22. Also, Hussein Zambia scored 7 from 27. Didn't really have had a good time, but we control the innings for the same team. So
Yeah, we see Team Gulu High School picked some wicket in the starting over, which was a nice move from them. A run out from the keeper, I guess. Yeah, nice play from them, which was contrary to what Team GOODHEART did. That's why I think Gulu High School took the win, because they started off from, say the word go, from the first moment up to the last moment.
that's the match summary for you. Gulu High School winning the toss and opting to bat. They scored only 59 from 10, and the pick of the batters from GOODHEART High School was Ali, who scored 11. Ashik also scored 8 from 12. Xavier scoring 7 from 27, and Gulu High School wrapping up the day with a win with the two set batters in Tony Opio, who scores 20 from 29, and Marvin, who scored 22 from 19. Bowlers from GOODHEART that really did some good work. Only Ali, who bowled 1 over and only went for 10 runs. And also Xavier bowling 2 overs, conceding 12. And also Hillary bowling 2.1 overs, conceding 15 runs. And Gulu High School winning their fourth game with 10 wickets. And that will be from us. Thank you very much. Until next day.
Thank you very much. Sign.